It is Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Can I get a roll tide inside the comment box? Today is Thursday. It is April 10th. I hope that you are off to an amazing start and you are having an amazing week. In just a couple days, Alabama will hold its final spring football practice, which is called 8-day practice. All right, go support your players. Go support your team. If you're a member of Yay Alabama, you can get autographs after the game. Should be beautiful. Temperature looks like it's going to be 70 degrees, and it's going to be a fantastic weekend for some college football here in Tuscaloosa. Whether it's a practice, whether it's a game, support the team, support the players. I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much. Today on the show, how it's going to work is we're going to do some roster management on the offensive side, kind of preview what to look at for Saturday from the offensive side. Questions that we have. I'm going to ask you some questions. You could ask me some questions, and that's how we'll roll with it. Tomorrow we'll do defense, and then on Saturday, I've decided that I'm going to roll out to the practice and I'll probably post up some tailgating. Have they announced the time? I haven't even seen. Have they announced the time for Saturday? Post it inside the comment box. I don't know if they'll be tailgating, but I'll probably be linking up with some of my friends from F3. You want to roll by the tent, say what's up. We'll take a photo together. We'll do just that. I appreciate you. So thanks for being here today on the show. It is Thursday. It is April 10th. Transfer portal. It's coming next week. It's coming next week. All right, let's give some shout outs inside the comment box. We got Herman, who's always checking in. Perfect attendance since we've started doing this. I'm just kidding. I'm not taking attendance. You want to be here? That's cool. You want to watch on the rewatch? That's cool too. Armor 3275. I appreciate you being here, bro. Thank you so much. Matt Dunn saying, roll, Tide, roll. What's up, man? Good to see you. Max Tooney, always up in the house. Appreciate you, bro. Josh Johnson, roll tide, good people. Yo, and if you guys want to add, like kind of rep your city too, drop your city inside the comment box. I love the cities because I've lived in so many great places in this country. And, you know, I like to see where you guys are watching from. It's amazing. Sometimes we get like, we have Philippines, we have Japan, we have Alaska. We go all over. We global. All right, Larry Large, what's up, man? Dude, Larry Large, dude, I love this avatar. So to me, like if I had a basketball team, Larry, I'm like, I see you as kind of like a power forward. Does the avatar fit like who you are? Are you a power forward? Todd, my boy, Todd, what's going on? Todd is all over it, man. Todd's good people. Matt Dunn's checking in on Saturday. That's what's up. He's taking his family to the 8-day practice. Bunch of comments just rolled through. I lost sight of some. Tonette, what's up? Roll Tide, roll to you. Carlos Williams is saying, thanks for being on time, Kyle. Oh, you got to be on time. You know, I would be earlier, but time is time, you know. My college football coach taught me on time is 15 minutes ahead of time. Patriot Live, what's up, man? I'm going to get back to you on text. Sorry I missed you, man. I got caught up in the world of parenting, life. I made some pasta yesterday. Spot on. I took Lacey to voice lessons, so I'm all in it, man. Prayers for you, though, Patriot Life. Patriot Life, his mom's going through it. So if you could drop a Patriot Life prayer inside the comment box, I appreciate it. Roderick, what's up, man? Let me get through the shout outs and then we'll continue with roster management on the offensive side. Carrick, what's up, man? Good to see you, bro. Alex Wilder, D-Bama Swag, Mindy, what's up? Elijah coming to us from Nashville, Tennessee. Kimberly, what's up? Terrell J. Man, a lot of support. I love it. Thank you guys so much. Oh, my goodness. McCollin, are you really in Thailand? That's crazy. That's what's up. I've never been to Asia. I've been to Europe. I've explored Central America a little bit. I've never been to Asia. And I've never been to Canada. Never been to Canada. All right, here we go. All right. Well, thanks for checking on in, everybody. I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much. It looks like we have 80 people locked in. Drop a thumbs up, and I appreciate you guys rocking with me today. Today we're rocking with roster management. And I think clearly the place to start is what everybody wants to talk about with the quarterback positions. Right now, inside the comment box, what are you looking at Who is the quarterback that you're like, that you have your eyes on, or what are you watching from the quarterback practice on Saturday? I would imagine that there's probably no game situations. I would imagine they're just throwing on air. They probably don't even have, they're probably not even full pads. I think I've watched enough sports, and I think we've seen enough events that you can kind of see leadership, right? Am I wrong? I think you can see leadership. It's kind of one of the things that I'm looking at from the quarterback position. Not necessarily, of course, who's repping with the ones or whatever, who's first in line. But I think, like, from a leadership perspective, like, who are the guys kind of following? Who's kind of commanding the offense? And I think that can give us a little bit of an insight as we talk about A-Day and kind of break things down from spring perspective next week. Has a quarterback really separated themselves? Because I know that Ryan Grubb has said they haven't, and that's fair. I think it's coach speak, to be honest, and I think he has to protect his team because of the transfer portal. But I'm curious to see from my own eyes, has there been somebody out there that is kind of taking control of the offense? And maybe there hasn't. Alex has been to Kuwait 3 tours. Appreciate your service, bro. That's what's up. It's always Veterans Day here, or if you're in the military, it's always military appreciation. So, if you are a member of the military past or currently, we appreciate you. We understand that freedom isn't free, and we salute you from a civilian salute. Roderick's kind of going with the theme that I'm rocking with too, is trying to see who can separate themselves as a leader. I think anytime you have a quarterback, it's got to be your leader of that offense. I would imagine that, you do have some vets coming back on the offensive side, but the quarterback is the leader and kind of sets the tone of that position every single year. I'm also kind of curious to see, kind of have my eyes looking at how the offense is operating. If we get to see any, like, I doubt that Grubb is going to be in the box. I would imagine that all the coaches on the sidelines, but maybe we can get just a tiny peek into how these coaches are coaching up the guys. Like, is Ryan Grubb more of a, hey, come talk to me? Or is he, like, really on the players, kind of like a Kane Womack? Does he kind of just sit back? Where do we see Nick Sheridan? Is he just strictly with the quarterbacks? Those are the kind of, Jamarcus Shepard, I know he's in a boot right now. He had some sort of surgery. Those are kind of the little things that I'm looking at. Soli, what's up? I see you inside the comment box. Good morning to you. Byron Walker, good morning. Stephen Franklin, appreciate you joining us this morning. And Chris Lowe, the great reporter for ESPN, yesterday he had, I don't know if it was a viral tweet, but he had an insightful tweet. Let's call it an insightful tweet on X. And he said that, look, it doesn't seem like the quarterbacks there's a lot of separation, but he said that Ty has positioned himself most likely to be the starter and that Austin Mack has a lot of support from the team. I like that. And then he said Keelan Russell is the most talented out of the 3 quarterbacks. So, those are things that stood out to me and kind of make my ears perk up when we're looking at the quarterback room. And there's only 3 quarterbacks. I know yesterday we were talking about that there's 5 because you have some walk-ons, but there's 3 quarterbacks on scholarship. There's kind of some rumblings out there that seem to, is Alabama going to take a 4th quarterback in the transfer portal? I don't think so. Do you think Alabama takes another quarterback, yes or no, inside the comment box? Type Y for yes, type N for no. I'm going to go ahead and type N just for myself. I don't think that they do. And would it mean, something if they did take a quarterback? I think that quarterback would be 4th. But I think with the quarterbacks that you have at this point in time, you're good with them going into the season. Stephen Franklin is asking if they're still having an A-Day game. No. The short answer is no. What they're doing this particular year is they're having a practice. They're having like an hour and some change practice, and then, which is free. And then after the game or after the practice, fans can go onto the field if they're members of Yay Alabama, the collective, and get autographs. I see 2 ways for this. Coach Kalen DeBoer has said that because of the injuries, they can't really field a full game. But also, I think it's about protecting the roster because the transfer portal is on the 15th. So, like, That's why the real reason, if you really want to know the truth, the real reason that they're not having an 8-day game is because of this transfer portal. Plain and simple. But, you know, as we go through the next couple slides, you'll see, I mean, they're pretty banged up at the tight end position. In fact, they only have one scholarship player available at tight end. A couple offensive linemen are limited. But we'll learn some stuff from the 8-day practice. We will. And the team reporters, you know, they'll have their laser visions on, and they'll have their, you know, reports following the practice as well. So it'll be a great day. Either way, look, if you're into the whole autographs and stuff like that and supporting the Yay Alabama collective, then go out and do it, you know. And, you know, you look, Alabama plays in how many games? What, like maybe 13, 14? If you get more opportunities to see them, that's your team, that's your squad, these are the players that you support, go do it. I'm also kind of watching, like when I have my eye on Keelan Russell, he has this like nice little like just, I mean, he throws a damn good ball, but it's his throwing motion that like excites me, right? And we're not going to see too much from any of these guys, but I'll certainly have my eyes on Keelan Russell, who, by the way, added 17 pounds since the time that he's got here. All these players are fluctuating in weights, but I mean, almost 20 pounds. So certainly noteworthy. Yeah, John, I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do for the actual practice. Sometimes I just come up with it as I go. But yeah, I'll have a show that night probably to kind of recap stuff, and then I'll do some stuff from the stadium. Usually, I mean, we'll just see how it goes. But that's your quarterback position. And look, we're not going to find out who the quarterback is at the end of practice on Saturday. I think we know that Ty Simpson's probably quarterback number 1 now. I feel that Keelan Russell's made some ground, but I think the quarterback position and the competition will go through the first month of August. In fact, you know, I find it kind of interesting. The team is practicing today, by the way. But haven't you found it interesting that none of the quarterbacks have done an interview with the media yet? I kind of find that interesting, making those guys really work for that spot. But maybe the quarterbacks are talking to the media right now. I have no idea. They're talking right now at this point in time at the university. Those interviews will be posted later on today. If I see something that's kind of noteworthy, I'll bring it here on Bama Football on YouTube. But sometimes kind of listening to that, these guys can't say a lot. They got to protect. They can't tell you like who the best players on the team is, right? Hey, what's up? The baby's up in here. The baby, what's up, man? Says, I love Ty, but Austin Mack, bro, that's the guy. You know, look, in the small clips that we've seen, I feel he throws a really good ball. I like me a big, tall quarterback. I like Ty Simpson and the dynamics and the experience and athleticism that he has. I like that Keelan Russell has a wide vision. So we'll see what happens. There's question marks within the quarterback room. I mean, we know that. With the running back room, man, look at all these guys. CJ Jackson, what's up, man? Good to see you, bro. Hope you're off to a really good start. By the way, we got 126 up in the house. I want to share something with you guys. So, as I've said, I have another channel. I have a couple channels, but this is the channel that I'm spending some time in right now. It's a men's daily devotional. I'm working on my spiritual side. I need to pour into myself. It's one of the areas that I felt that I needed to make gains in my personal life. So it's a daily devotional and a daily journal as I strengthen up, tighten up. So if you guys want to check it out, I appreciate it. Got a great interview today with a good friend of mine who's the minister at the Tuscaloosa International Church. He's from England. He played football at Florida International. He was a DB. We put in the work this morning, and then we cut the podcast. So go check it out inside the comment box. The running back room, like, my goodness, it's crazy. Look at this talent. Should I go full screen? Man. Yo, on a scale of 1 to 10, what's the talent on this running back room? Seriously. I'm going to say like a 9-1. And we've learned more about the tight end, the running back room, I think, throughout the spring. Like, seems like Jam is, that number 1. Seems like Richard's that number 2. I don't know who's number 3. It seems kind of like Daniel Hill to me, but Kevin Riley's got his name brought up a bunch of times, and we've seen a bunch of A.K. Deer and of Jalen Washington. Jalen Washington looks nice as well, I'm not going to lie. That's why I wonder, as I sit back and think about it, I'm like, damn, like, are all these dudes going to sit tight during this, during the transfer portal window? I don't know, man. That, like, 8M85, what's up? I see you inside the comment box. Yeah, and see everybody 8, 8, 10, 9, 9. I mean, the talent is through the roof. In this system, and I know Ryan Grubb was criticized because he didn't run the ball at Seattle. We've gone over that many different times. But I think he's going to he has to run the ball here. He can't be one-dimensional and expect to succeed in the SEC. The teams are too good. And I do think he's going to utilize, I would say, like, realistically, he's probably going to really utilize 3 running backs. And if I had to say, it'd be Jam, Richard, Daniel Hill / Jalen Washington. I think you'll sprinkle in Riley and who knows about A.K. Deer at this point in time. Not because he's not talented enough. I don't know if there's a big separation between him and these other guys. I mean, a lot of mouths to feed right here. But you can keep these guys in the rotation. You can keep them clean. You can keep them healthy. And you know what? These guys catch the football well out of the backfield or, wheel routes, whatever. We've seen it from Jam Miller. He's caught a touchdown pass. He caught a touchdown pass a couple years ago against Georgia. I've seen him at practice catching passes as well. The running back room is crazy. All these guys, knock on wood, healthy at this point in time. And that's the other thing. The season is a grind. You need a stable of running backs. Do you need this many? I don't know. But I'm glad they're on, Alabama's roster. You don't want these guys going anywhere else. Imagine. Did we ever determine in this next transfer portal window? That's something I need to write down too. Guys can transfer within SEC, right? In this next transfer portal window. Transfer to SEC. You need to look that up. Because you don't want Richard Young or Daniel Hill or somebody like that going somewhere within the conference. No. So we'll see where we're at. I mean, loaded room. And you know what? One of the names that we don't talk about often enough is Robert Gillespie. He's the running backs coach. He's been here for a while now. He's tenured. I think he has the associate head coach as his title. He's a good running backs coach. Anytime you take over for a legend like Burton Burns, I had the opportunity to hang out with Burton Burns. Not hang out with him, but I was able to interview him in New Orleans, where he's from. And the guy is super chill, super, just like a solid man. Kind of like gave you that grandfather type feel, just the wisdom, right? He's kind of the OG. He is the OG in terms of the running backs coach. So Robert Gillespie's he's a hell of a coach. He don't get that much notoriety here, but he's important. Hey, Kimberly, I appreciate you becoming a fan funder. Thank you so much. You've always shown so much support. Wade Burns up in the house talking about the great Josh Pate. Let's see what he has to say. I listened to Pate the other day, and he said the comments were full of trash talk about our backs. I hope they kick some ass this year and prove them wrong. Huh, interesting. Yeah, love Josh Pate's work, obviously. Who doesn't? The running backs last year, I guess one of the areas that I felt I missed on is I felt that Justice Haynes, and I do think he's a good running back, and I would imagine he has a good career. I just felt that he was going to be better than he was, and maybe that was because of the opportunities. And I know, with Milroe taking the majority of the carries, in terms of running, maybe that limited the opportunities from the other back. It did, but in the small opportunities that we saw, Justice Haynes, I wasn't like completely blown away. You get what I'm saying? Like, I still do feel it's a loss, but I don't think it was like a mega loss. And I feel like there's not a lot of programs that could lose a running back like Justice Haynes, and you don't even remember, like, you don't even miss him. So just something that kind of stood out. Solely Inside the Comment Box says, there was a little bit too much dancing around by the running backs and not enough hitting the hole and running people over. And I agree with that too. I think it was that one time where Justice Haynes kind of put his head down, ran over that dude. And the same thing with Richard Young. Like, Richard Young, I feel it looks like he's increased kind of his agility a little bit. But Richard Young is a guy north-south. That's it. Like, get the ball and get upfield. And I think with his combo of speed and power, he needs to do that. I think Jam does that. But, yeah, I'm with you, too. Like, enough of the dancing around. Like, most of these running backs are built kind of north and south outside of Kevin Riley, who looks like he has a little bit more shake to him, right? Wade's World's asking, is Bach better than Cole or Lazier? That's a great question. I think the thing with Jalen Mbakwe, we're going to talk about the wide receivers next. I think with the wide receivers, you have to keep in mind that Jalen Mbakwe could probably play slot or boundary as a receiver. I think probably a better question would be, Wade, is Jalen Mbakwe better than Rico Scott? Right? Is he better than a Jalen Hell? And to be honest, at this point in time, I'd probably say no. And then if you compared him at the slot position to Cole or Lazier, I'd probably say no. And that doesn't mean, yo, Jalen Mbakwe, there's no place for you here. Go somewhere else. That just means that you're going to have to sit tight. You're going to have to be ready when coach does call on you. And Alabama's already made it clear that they want you here. And they're going to figure out a way to get him on the field. So, we'll just have to see. But you know what I know. You see the roster too. It's going to be hard to get on the field if you're a wide receiver this year. And I think most people would agree with me. It's just like, yo, right now, the wide receiver room is stellar. There's a couple guys that are out right now. Ryan Williams, nothing is wrong with him. Coach Kalen DeBoer said like nicks. Those are like, I don't know, bumps, bruises. And if he's not 100%, there's really no way in this pro level of football that we're at, it's the same thing. If Christian McCaffrey is just a little bit dinged up, he's not practicing. He's still going to be signing autographs. He could play if Alabama had a game, he'd play and he'd catch for 200 yards. But in terms of the practices, I don't know how much he's doing. Bubba Hampton's out. I think that's an injury. Jalen Hell and Cole Adams, I know those guys are a little bit banged up this week. I don't know if they're going to be practicing this Saturday. Things we're watching. And the thing I think around Jalen Hell is how close is he to 100%? You got a healthy, Jalen Hell at 100%. Yo, you have 4 wide receivers that are elite with Isaiah Horton, Jeremy Bernard, Ryan Williams, Jalen Hell. Like, that's a hell of a quad right there. We even mentioned throwing Lazier Brooks, who, by the way, I'm sure you saw the footage of him slicing up the defense yesterday. I'm going to cut a short video talking about that later on today, so have your head on the swivel. But Lazier Brooks has been an absolute nightmare to match up with. You also have Derek Meadows. Rico Scott. Don't forget about him. We don't want Rico Scott going to Tennessee or to somewhere else. Like, this guy's super talented. Rocket Talent's all good, man. Good to see you. What's up, Jay Boogie? See you here as well. Rico, this guy, a monster. Ooh, this is a good question right here. How many show up to A-Day? I predict 15,000. Well, every single time that I've been to A-Day, it's been like 65 to, I want to say there was one year that they got close to 90,000. I think one year it was like Saban's second year or something like that. It was like full. And then most of the time it's like 65,000, 70. They always say it's more. But last year, I will say this, the lower bowl was full. It was. So, I mean, if that's half the stadium, and Bryant-Denny Stadium's, 103? I don't know. That's a good question. How many people do you think will be at A-Day practice on Saturday? I'm going to say are 50,000 going to go watch them practice? We're talking about practice. I don't know. Man, you got me thinking. Yeah, Herman's saying Bama support always strong. I don't know. You know what? I might be between here. I might be between 45 and 18. So give me 30. Something like that. Adam is saying it's 7 to 10. No, that'll be more than that. Alabama Renegade saying, I'll be late. I'm going to, doors open at 12, but I'll be there at 1 because my church has a monthly cleaning. That's what's up, Al. That's what's up, man. I'm sure you'll have room to find a place to sit. Josh thinks it'll be packed. Larry Large going. Yeah, this is a great question. There's an article that's out. It just says, it's talking basketball, but it's saying Nate Oates might reevaluate the non-conference schedule because the players were worn down. Man, the non-conference for basketball was the schedule for that basketball played was crazy. I think what wore the team out was that back end stretch, and that was against conference. When that stretch where they played like 10 teams that were like in the top 10, that was crazy. That was the hardest schedule I've ever seen. Anyways, back to football. I don't know. Everyone's all over the board. 45,000, 40,000, 50,000. Adam said 10,000. I have no idea. Great question. I didn't even think about that. I'm gonna ask that again tomorrow. All right, so I started playing with this, and I'll go full screen just to kind of give you an idea of the wide receivers and how, I like this graphic. I like to put guys on the field. And did anybody play growing up electric football? Does anybody know what that is? You younger kids won't know what electric football is, and I feel really sorry for you. Electric football was like a metal football field that was lined. It looked like a field. It was painted, end zones, everything. And you would get your figurines and you would press a button. Do you remember this? And the players would like move. They play football. It was, you remember this? It was the greatest thing ever. Electric football was amazing. It was loud, but it was fun. So this is my electric football. So I'm putting Isaiah Horton up at the top. I'm putting Jeremy Bernard down here on this boundary. And then I'm putting Ryan Williams in the slot. And I think this will be your first team offense. If I had to put like a real first team offense at this point in time and you have a 3 wide receiver set, this is how I'd roll with it. So, and then I'd have at the tackle position, I'd go with Caden Proctor, Cam Dewberry, Parker Brailsford, Jaden Roberts, Wilcom Formby, Josh Cuevas. And a lot of these guys, like Josh Cuevas is injured right now. I'm just saying, if they were to play Florida State in a legitimate game this weekend, this is how I feel that the room would look at. The quarterback would be Ty Simpson, and then number 1 running back would be Jam Miller. You know what? That's a really good offense. And then, we just talked about all the wide receivers that you could kind of mix and match off the bench. The twos, I think, after Formby is interesting because there's not a lot of experience there. And then kind of at the guard position, too, it looks like it could either be Cam Dewberry or Geno Vandermark. Melon Jesus mentioning Michael Carroll inside the comment box, who I think could probably play tackle. Maybe he might be one of the number 2 tackles. I think Alabama probably has several number 2 tackles. This is a look at kind of the twos, if you will. Okay. I have Jalen Hell, Lazier Brooks, Rico Scott. Quarterback number 2, I mean, your guess is as good as mine. Richard Young. And then, see, this is, if you look at the 2s, does this get a little bit dicey? Does this tell us that Alabama needs to go to the transfer portal for a tackle? Jackson Lloyd, just a freshman. Now, I'm not saying that he's not capable to be that guy, but are your 2s really freshmen at the tackle position? Is it really Jackson Lloyd and Michael Carroll? You also have Geno Vandermark, who's like he could be the first team guy. I don't know. Instead of Brailsford right here, that should say Joseph Ionita. He's probably second team, so I need to edit that for your second team. And then Will Sanders at that other guard position. So, look, I think if I have questions, it's about the second team offensive line. Depth, there you go. That's my question. And we won't. I feel there needs to be a transfer that comes in to the offensive line that has experience. But I think once we get behind that first layer of the offensive line, because look, this offensive line, this is pretty good. Is it elite? Well, they'll have to prove it. It doesn't scream elite at this point in time, but I think they're pretty good. Are they great? I don't know. This looks young, inexperienced. I don't know. So the second team offensive line is where I see the biggest issues with Alabama football. Not at the receiver, not at the running back, not at the quarterback. Is the second team offensive line for me. And look, these guys are probably going to be, I mean, these guys probably be elite by the time they leave here. Jackson Lloyd and Michael Carroll. But these guys haven't seen, I mean, Caden Proctor struggled his first year in SEC play. Imagine being a freshman going up against some of these defenses. It's going to take time. I heard really good things about Jackson Lloyd. He's probably one of the top 5 freshmen that have come in from 2025. This guy's a monster. He's like 6'7", 330? All right. Then I played around with this too. I didn't even mean to show this graphic, but here we go. This is a 4 wide receiver set. And in the 4 wide receiver sets that Ryan Grubb has utilized, I'm doing this from the fly. I didn't think I'd be talking about this. What Grubb did at Washington, he used one of these wide receivers as actually a tight end. What I did was I put him as a 4 wide receiver, so Isaiah Horton, Cole Adams, Jerry Bernard, Ryan Williams. I'm just mixing stuff up. In this particular set last year for Alabama under Nick Sheridan, as you can see down here, this is C.J. Dupree. So they used a tight end. Now, could they put Josh Cuevas down here? Sure. I don't know what they'll do, but the problem isn't going to be trying to figure out if you have enough wide receivers to get onto the field to be dangerous. I mean, could you imagine if it's Isaiah Horton, Lazier Brooks, Ryan Williams, and Jordan Bernard on the outside? And you have a quarterback that can run the offense at a very high level? It's going to be deadly. It'll come down to the offensive line. There's no issues on the outside or the inside. There you go, Melon Jesus. Yeah. What about this? Jalen Hell, or Isaiah Horton, Jalen Hell, Ryan Williams, Jerry Bernard. Come on. There was a couple times that Ryan Grubb went 5 wide at Washington. I've showed that a couple times on here, but it was seldom. There wasn't a lot of 5 wide sets. It was seldom, but that did happen, which would mean Isaiah Horton, Cole Adams, Jerry Bernard, Ryan Williams, Lazier Brooks. That's crazy to think about. All right, the tight end room is thin, okay? Danny Lewis is out with the injury. Josh Cuevas is out with the injury. Marshall Pritchett, he's out with the injury. Caleb Edwards isn't even enrolled yet. He's not even here. So your only scholarship tight end right now is Jay Lindsey. That's just facts. Now, going forward, Danny Lewis had hit the transfer portal when it initially opened. He spoke with Alabama. They wanted to keep him here, and for good reason. After losing Robbie Oots and C.J. Dupree, you needed a H-back to come back. I think the H-back probably would be Jay Lindsey, but maybe the H-back. And H-back is like your bigger type tight end. Same thing that Robbie Oots did. You can keep him in line as kind of an extra blocker as well. So Danny Lewis, and then we're all hoping for a really big season from Josh Cuevas, right? But as you can see, I mean, you're going to see a lot of walk-on guys in the tight end room. And look, I wouldn't be mad, and I do have confidence in Josh Cuevas. I really do. But I wouldn't be mad if Alabama went into the transfer portal for offensive lineman experience and a playmaker tight end. You brought in a playmaking tight end, and that could be a challenge, because if I'm a tight end, I'm like, okay, look, I know you got Josh Cuevas on the roster and you got all those wide receivers to feed. Like, I want the ball. It might be hard if you're reverse recruiting, be like, yo, Alabama's not going to feed the tight end the ball this year because look all the dogs they got, right? A lot of mouths to feed. So, okay. And lastly, when we look at the Alabama offensive line, I'll go full screen on this. And these graphics are always a work in progress, so bear with me. If you see something out there that needs to be edited or added, let me know inside the comment box, and I'll always come back and take care of it. Starting up at the top left, right here, Cam Dewberry. Looks like he's going to be, I guess, the odds-on favorite to be the starting left guard at this point in time. Arquel and Newgum, haven't really heard much about him, to be honest. When they got him from Ball State, kind of said that he was a work in progress. I know he's played a little bit of tackle, but I haven't heard much about him. That doesn't mean that he's not performing well. I just haven't really heard an update on him. Caden Proctor, limited right now, but a returning All-American. We got Parker Brailsford, another returning All-American. At the center position, Jaden Roberts. I would imagine he's a preseason All-American, and if he's healthy, this trio is going to be a star-studded cast. Now, the big question is Wilcom Formby, has this guy grown up? Is he ready to play championship-level football? And if he is, then you got 4 quality linemen, and you need to figure out if Cam Dewberry can rise up. Olas Allen, and he's been working at the tackle position. And Jarvis, yeah, you're right, man. I haven't heard anything about Arquel and Newgum at all. Joseph Ionita, looks like he's going to be the second-team center. You know who I haven't heard anything about is Rock Montgomery. I would have thought that he would have been the second-team center, but it looks like Joseph might be. Casey Poe, I know he's worked at tackle a few times. He's one of the fan favorites. And then William Sanders at the guard position as a reserve. Gino Vandermark could be a first-team guy or a second-team guy. Michael Carroll right now at second-team but getting reps at tackle. Haven't heard too much about Micah DeBose. Mal Waldrop's playing guard. And then Jackson Lloyd, actually heard really, really good things about Jackson Lloyd. So that's Alabama's offense. Tomorrow we'll go over defense. We'll do the same thing on roster management, working our way towards A-Day practice on Saturday. And tomorrow, I think I'll have a better understanding of where I'm going to be on Saturday. So if you want to come, say what's up, take a photo, talk life or whatever, give a roll tide, I'll let you know where I'm going to be. So, hope you guys had a good show. Hope you guys were able to, get something out of it. I always, even as much as I talk Alabama football, every single time I come back and I do the roster management, I get a lot out of it myself, because these were some of the questions that I had before the season. This was written before spring football started, okay? And these were some of our questions, and we're going to do this next week, and we'll go and reassess the grades for Alabama football. But, we put a B on the quarterbacks, limited experience. We put an A on the running backs, a C+ with the tight ends, lack playmaker, wide receiver, A. We were kind of basing that just off Hollywood, but now that we know Isaiah Horton's absolutely killing it, that's an A+. Offensive line, it seems like we feel good about the offensive line, but I think it'd probably be a B+, maybe an A if we get some more depth. And then, of course, we'll go over the defense as well. Like, look, the Bandit, we had Latham. Well, Latham is now playing the Wolf, right? So we'll highlight that all tomorrow on the show. We'll talk defense. So I appreciate you guys. New channel. a spiritual journey, if you will, as I'm trying to tighten up and always trying to get better, pour more into myself. It's a men's daily devotional. Check it out. I got a great interview with Alex Anjunio, who's a Tuscaloosa international church leader here. And, we kicked it this morning. So I got the interview up now if you want to go check that out, maybe add a little bit to your life. So I appreciate you guys rocking with me today, every day, right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Thanks for allowing me to be a content creator. If you're a fan funder, I appreciate it. You're a super chat. Hey, and if you want to be a sponsor, out there, if you own a business, the email down here, nmpreps@gmail. One of the areas I definitely need to work on is getting some business sponsors for the show. So last year, I was going over the numbers. Last year, we had 11.6 million views on the channel. That's collectively, right? So last 365, which, I'm proud about. There's a lot of work that goes into it, as you guys know, and I appreciate you guys always being in my corner and rocking with me. So real recognize real, and I recognize you guys as well. Hope you guys have an amazing day. I'll be back as news happens. Got some player interviews popping up on your team sites. I might cut a video here soon on Lazier Brooks. And, we're rolling with it. So have an amazing day. Stay where your feet are at. Stay grounded. Stay blessed. And be good people. Coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama on Thursday, April 10th. Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Love you, fam. See ya.